Well, as we move into the overnight into early Tuesday, there is the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms here across Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, maybe a few supercells with some hail. I wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado, but the big threat comes as we head into Tuesday with part 2 of this system as it moves to the east. The severe weather threat now includes parts of Indiana, Illinois, back through Missouri, even further south, almost into the Ozarks, north again through the mid-Mississippi Valley, right up into the southern parts of Michigan. It does include Chicago, Indianapolis, over to Columbus. We're still in that risk. The primary threat will be severe thunderstorms with damaging winds, but we're also going to deal with wind shear, change of wind direction with height, so tornadoes definitely a risk here from Chicago over here just north of Indianapolis, but we are in that risk just because we're not in the bullseye here. I think anywhere in these areas could see a tornado heading into tomorrow with some strong updrafts developing, a lot of wind shear, especially along this warm front as it lifts to the north. Something else to keep in mind, just above the ground there's some dry air aloft. I'm concerned with this because if you get thunderstorms forming in this, especially as the lines move through, you could tap into this dry air. That's going to cool rapidly, and that cool air is going to rush down to the ground. That's what gives you those damaging winds. That will be something to keep in mind tomorrow. Some strong winds aloft with this jet streak, and I think to the front right side of this, we'll likely see that severe weather, and then that moves to the east. The trough will anyway. And then look at this. Once we get rid of this, it'll turn cold in the east, and then a big ridge starts to set up across the central United States with another trough in the northwest. That's going to bring our next period of active weather with more rain and snow here. So let's time things out. Again, that severe weather here Monday night into early Tuesday, possible here from Chicago all the way up into Michigan, Indiana. A couple of strong storms here into parts of Kentucky and Ohio too, as we see that warm air surging off to the east. Hail possible with these. It could be large. And then off to the south, just some rain showers here as we move into the Appalachians. We've got a lot of wet weather moving into the mid-Atlantic, a lot of cloud cover here too. We'll see the clouds increase across the northeast and rain chances will go up as well. The atmosphere will continue to destabilize here across parts of Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois. And then as that energy moves to the east, we'll see our thunderstorm chances increase, especially heading into the overnight Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Here's a closer look at the simulated radar. You can see some of these cells starting to develop here across Illinois and then moving east. It'll be interesting to see how they interact with Lake Michigan. You've got some relatively cooler water here, but off to the south, some of these cells across northern Indiana, again, southern Michigan will really need to be watched heading into tomorrow night. And this is going to be coming after dark too, especially in these areas. So northwestern Ohio, southern Michigan, parts of Indiana, that's when you're going to want to be weather aware, have a way to get those weather alerts in the middle of the night. And then off to the south, the storms don't look as strong here across parts of Tennessee and Kentucky. And then things really kind of stretch out heading into the day. Wednesday is more of a squall line set up. Not as much upper level energy here. These storms, again, not looking nearly as strong, but a big cool down on the way behind this front as it moves through. As this system moves to the east, it'll be bringing snow into the Colorado Rockies during the day Tuesday and pushing a strip of snow right here northeast from Nebraska up into Iowa, Minnesota. We have winter storm watches out, winter weather advisories for some of these areas here, especially across northern parts of Minnesota, where we could see some decent snow Tuesday through Tuesday morning, and then all of that pushes off to the east into the UP of Michigan, and then it ends as snow here. Not a lot of snow behind this system. The GFS has been much more aggressive at really having that cold air catch up to the rain, so we could see a quick shift over to snow across parts of New England, and then things wrap up. One thing I do want to emphasize, there's going to be a lot of wind out ahead of this from the southwest, behind it out of the northwest, so it's going to be very windy with the storm pretty much east of the Mississippi. Our next storm moves into the Pacific Northwest as we head toward Thursday and Friday, and that'll bring another round of rain and snow here, and that snow could be heavy, and the rain could be heavy as well, especially in the coastal ranges here into the Cascades, and eventually working back down into the Sierra and into Southern California as we head into the weekend. Snow totals will be heaviest from North Dakota stretching into parts of Michigan. Somebody here could see more than 6 inches, a few places more like 8 to 10 inches, especially across northern Minnesota and across the Rockies. More snow here. Some lighter snow possible from Iowa back through Nebraska that I was talking about, a coating to an inch or so possible, and then up into the UP of Michigan we could get 6+ inches in a few areas, and then even across the northern parts of the lower peninsula of Michigan, some snow possible here. The further north you go, the better chances of snow. I don't think we see much really south of really these areas, so once you get to about the middle part of the state, we're really not dealing with much. Again, heading into the weekend, this storm is moving into the west, but look what happens here into the east. We get rid of that storm, and then here comes more rain moving back into the south just in time for the weekend. So Friday, the rain increases here into Saturday, and we stay wet all along the east coast as we move towards, say, Saturday night and then into Sunday. And then across the west, we stay stormy with more rain and snow here And look at this, another system moving out into the plain states next week. That'll have to be watched. That could bring a lot of snow up here into parts of Canada. And then I'm not so sure, again, about the track of this, but this could be a big snow maker and maybe a severe weather maker here for areas a little bit further to the south and west. I talked about this yesterday, and I think that's, again, potentially on the table early next week. A long time to get there, but that will be something we keep an eye on, and it looks like we stay stormy for the next couple of weeks anyway as we head into March. Now, as we head into the overnight into tomorrow, this severe threat could increase. I'll certainly keep an eye on things for you guys. Thank you so much. We just passed 4,400 subscribers. Appreciate all of you guys who have subscribed. A lot up in the air as we head into March. If you'd like to check that out, here it is. I'll see you over there on that video.